Hello and welcome to the G3 Pulse podcast. Joining me today is David Harris, B2B Affiliate Team Manager at ReferOn. David, thank you very much for coming on and good to speak with you again.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I know we spoke a little bit in Sigma, but let's catch up a little bit more on some other topics.
So RGB Affiliate 2024 marks 1 year since ReferOn's launch. So how do you reflect on the last year for the business? What would you say were the significant milestones and challenges faced?
So the first year really followed on from the launch of ReferOn. We went live in February, so we haven't even done almost a full year as of yet. And it really showed a lot of innovation and growth, not just in the team, but we've developed huge advances on our features that we rolled out from our initial stage, and we've revolutionized as we've gone along, giving loads of full control back to the affiliate users and to the admin users from those. And we consistently have regular updates every 3 to 4 weeks, more or less. And we're getting new clients, whether it be interested or those that are coming on board. We're doing migrations and kind of clean slate stuff as well. Just in the last, let's say 12 months, okay, we have got about 10, 11 clients, and we have many more. We also did some great, actually, awards that surprised even me. We got Rising Star Award from 5-Star Media. And also at the IGB now coming up here, we have also been nominated for the Best Tech for Affiliates. So that surprised me. I thought maybe we were in the running for the Best Tech for Affiliates kind of platform, but we actually managed to pick the post of Best Tech for Affiliates, which shows that the feedback is, very well received. Some of the migrations we're having there as well, we're having some great feedback, which is really nice to see. So, we're going to constantly revise this, optimize this, and get it up and even better than some industry standards out there as we move forwards out of these first 12 months.
And can you go into any detail on what clients you have, or is that confidential?
Yeah, I mean, some of the PR stuff, some of the people maybe checked out ReferOn on LinkedIn. Our probably biggest one would be 7-Star Partners. We went live with that, I think, September. So that's probably gathered a lot of information from people who are on there, because that's been around for like 5 years, right? That's been around for a while. So a lot of affiliates suddenly realized, okay, this is the big guy. And the other ones that are coming in, we've had 247 partners as well coming in. But the others, a bit more clean slate, the latest ones. So, as you'll probably see them in IGB and with ReferOn coming up as well, you'll see a lot more. But I would say those two big ones are 7-Stars and 247.
As you touched on in an earlier response, you mentioned that we spoke at Sigma, where we kind of, in a piece that was written up, and it was about how the business was formed, and there was you and a partner, and how you handle kind of the B2B side of the business. You're the one at the shows and what have you. But one of the things that you said there was that you're going to be having updates every few weeks, which was quite surprising. It's very quick to be getting updates like 2-factor authentication logins, mobile user enhancements, EPC reward structures. Could you just talk me through the technical updates that you've made to the platform since?
Yeah, so you kind of alluded to some of them. We've improved a bit further on some of those features, a bit more mobile responsiveness, a bit more on those reward plan structures. We have postbacks coming just within the system very soon. We have IDC, which is kind of non-bundling. A few other payment improvements coming as well. The updates that kind of I've alluded to is kind of this kind of the sprints that we have. That's not to say as well that in these kind of rollouts you have a back end kind of changes and front end changes. So you may see an update which maybe has small changes, but in the back end, it's preparation for the coming up. So we try to mix it up so that always it shows there's something coming out. But yeah, we have these kind of big updates. Some of them are client focused, but we also have market focused trends that are kind of coming with it and making sure we're at the top of the chain, so to speak, of programs that want to pick ReferOn as well on those.
So if you were to break it down, would you say that updates are predominantly client-led or market-led, or is it genuinely a mixture of both?
It's definitely a mix. There are maybe some things, to err is to be human at the end of the day. So maybe some things that we have missed through certain things, we certainly take it on board, and maybe we reprioritize as well. But honestly, like the backlog that we originally had when we created the product was so huge. We're gradually getting through them. Obviously, at the same time, we have clients coming on board and obviously using those resources, but we're also growing the team. So it really is a mix of these are market trends we're seeing and we need to be up to date, or things that would be nice to have, or some nice features of how the engine works, of put together, and then bouncing off that. Whereas it's not the same as looking at other platforms and copying them. You're basing it on your own foundation and building a better tower, so to speak. So you really have to do a little bit of both. If you're fully product-centric, you may lose touch with what the market's doing. Whereas if you're doing with client-centric, you may be a step behind. Because when they come to you with a problem, it won't be an immediate fix. So you really have to do this kind of blend of product ownership when you do these kind of things.
There's a slight misjudgment until you said just then about market trends. I thought when you referred to market, you were referring to like specific geographic markets, and that's what you mean by market-led. But what you mean is looking at what's out there.
Yeah, it can be both. You do have some emerging markets which are more kind of mature than others. I mean, you compare the German market, for example, to Brazilian market, they're not the same. I mean, it sounds stupid of me to say that, but they really aren't. The way the players are, the way the affiliates are, the way the demands are very different. So if you're focused in one region, you'll get almost this bias. So it's important to really look across the board, but also, look to the US. That's going to be changing. They are very much techie out there. But at the same time, okay, you go to LATAM. They're very kind of small player bases there, but the affiliates are very much Spanish speaking. So we need language support. So you're looking at very different things. When I say market, I do mean the general vague expression of could be geo, could be the general industry market, could be a bit of both.
And you've mentioned a few markets there. Are they markets that ReferOn is looking at, like the likes of LATAM and the US, or
I mean,
do you actually let me elaborate further? If you do, you have any home markets? Do you have any market? I know it's a year old, but do you have any markets where you're already very strong for where you are on your business journey, or would you say that you want to be a global platform and that you don't want to specialize in one area? You want to be something for everyone.
Well, the very kind of notion of ReferOn is not really dependent on a particular market. It's actually fully dependent on where the clients are focusing their affiliate traffic. Okay, so as a ReferOn kind of user, you can say, okay, these operators have international oversight. They both have, mixed local license and maybe Curacao licenses, whereas you may find another program who wants to use a system who's purely Swedish. So for us, we don't really kind of pick and choose. We're very open to all suggestions. It just happens that maybe some of our operators are more European focused right now, and maybe some Australia, New Zealand kind of focuses. In general, there is a larger push to LATAM, and as it grows into the US, that will be something we would look into. But we are very much European focused, but that's not really a way of ReferOn choosing to be. It's just the general operators that we have right now.
I've noticed you keep saying ReferOn. You'll know better than I keep calling it ReferOn. Is that something that happens often?
It is. It's as long as we know what we're both talking about. I sometimes refer to internally as RO, as ReferOn, as ReferOn. Like, it's fine. I know what you mean. You know what I mean. It's okay. As long as you're speaking to me about affiliation, I generally know you're referring to ReferOn. It's okay.
Grand. So going back to the tech side, going back to the updates conversation, what would you say the latest advances are in artificial intelligence and data harnessing tech that you're utilizing and working with to make it the platform of tomorrow?
So this is a really kind of good segue, kind of what we've been talking about already. So following these market trends, I mean, we just need to look back at 2023, right? AI, ChatGPT was huge. Okay, it made huge steps in loads of kind of advancements, not just in iGaming, but across the board. And, you now have companies taking it onto themselves to try to immerse themselves into AI and what they can get out of it. It's important to remember it's not a replacement. It's a way to use AI to get better. So we've been following AI, myself and the other colleagues, on, how can it be used within affiliate platforms? Was it going to be maybe mail send outs? Is it going to be data trending, churning, probabilities? more that kind of smart data analysis. So we've been kind of following that kind of stuff. So our focus for this year is really trying to look into getting that foundation of that data first. So we're going to look into more real-time data and unique reward mechanics on those. That will also then help the furthering the foundation of data visibility, access points, and just kind of more understanding of the data quicker. So we know this is an ongoing kind of trend. We've had a lot of other things on our prioritization, and we are looking to do this as a first foundation for 2024. With that, then we're looking at how AI and further future plans can really introduce us to new ways of looking at data in the system. Because currently a lot of our operators are a once-a-day feature. And if you're doing AI, that's just not smart enough. You can obviously look at historic data, but the quicker you have that data in, the more kind of a higher speed you can start making those decisions, and the data can collect and make trends of it a lot faster. So we need to settle that first, and then we'll be looking at the further technologies.
Are these the topics and conversations that you expect to be having at IGB next month?
Probably. Most likely. I can't, foresee, but it's very likely that it's going to be these kind of trends that you'll hear about. More real time, more data at your fingertips. How can ReferOn do this? But also, I also want to showcase what ReferOn can already do in light of maybe other programs. It's kind of intuitiveness on building the reports, building the trackers, building the reward mechanisms. So I hope it's a mix, but I for sure would expect this question later on as well.
And what forthcoming updates will you be touching on? Will it be those reporting capabilities you mentioned, and the other topics you mentioned, or is there anything that you've not already touched on that you'll be showcasing?
So without giving too much away, I want to obviously reiterate that our recent developments, we certainly were the EPC, we had better mobile responsiveness, and also IDC and non-bundlings coming soon. Between now and probably, let's say, Q1, Q2 time, we'll also have extra editions of sub-affiliation, postbacks. You'll see all your events, your setups, fully as a one-stop shop in the system. So once you get all of these, it becomes much easier to have a full view of what's going on with affiliates, data, setups, and everything in one system. You don't need to rely on maybe a few other kind of third-party tools. You can just use this without any manual overseas. Now, we do have a few other things in the pipeline, which will be coming obviously later in the year. We don't exactly have exact ETAs on these. These will be looking at a bit more of the payment solutions, maybe a bit more on the reporting capabilities, a bit more on the rewarding capabilities. But I don't want to give too much away just yet. But they are going to revisit some of those already great features, and we're going to make them even better as we go forward.
And final one from me is, if we were to be having a chat in January of 2025, God forbid, I can't believe it's 2025 next.
In Barcelona.
In Barcelona. Where do you expect the company to be at that point? What are your expectations for the forthcoming year for the business as a whole?
So these are just going to be some numbers I'm going to pull from the top of my head. So first year, we've got about 10 to 11 clients. Okay. For this year, we're going to have a big push on number of new brands, loads of new stuff. So I'm expecting to double or triple that number by this time next year. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. And also the features and functionalities that I would like in the backlog would be, fantastic rollout features. I'll also personally, as a personal kind of achievement, I would like to grow the team that's under me by that time, because obviously we'd have more clients, we'd need some more support, more sales. And we're just looking to grow really on all aspects, both internally and externally, and kind of getting it out there. And obviously anyone who wants to reach out to me, or, from both an insight into what ReferOn can offer, obviously find me at Q10 at IGB, the stand. And also you can also find me on LinkedIn. There's a bunch of PR right now, this including one of them, where you'll find all sorts of interviews, editorials and stuff with me in it. So feel free just to reach out, and I'll definitely talk to you more about the product should you wish to.
David, thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you very much for your time, Will. I'll see you there.
I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you want to watch more, why not subscribe to our channel somewhere here.